lawsuits in Rhode Island. Recently we passed a magazine capacity ban. What is it? No more than 10 rounds in a magazine,
Yep, no more than 10 rounds.
including 10 is allowed, but 11's not.
Correct.
Okay. So that law was passed recently. There's a lawsuit. I think we had the lawyer on a while ago for the local firm bringing that. What is the status of that lawsuit?
So as some people may or may not know, we put in for a stay, which would have allowed people to keep their magazines that are larger than 10 rounds, standard capacity magazines, as I call them. They're not really high capacity magazines.
And
It
that,
got
by the
heard.
way, that magazine limit went in a year ago, December 1st, if I recall, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So for the
Um,
last 13 months, the stay was not granted. So that is the law of the land right now, pending the outcome of the trial. The court did not grant an immediate stay or immediate hold on that law. That's what you're saying, right?
yeah, that's correct. So unfortunately, right now we are restricted to 10 round magazines.
Are you aware of anybody who's been charged with a violation of that law in Rhode Island in the last 13 months?
I don't know names specifically, but I've read articles now where people are getting arrested through a traffic stop. Most of these cases, Mike, are again what we go to. They're illegal guns possessed illegally by criminals, and now an additional charge to them would be uh, uh, a magazine over 10 rounds. I don't know of anybody that's a true sportsman that only got arrested for a standard capacity magazine. I'm not aware of.
Of course, what's so infuriating about this is that legal gun ownership, legal for hundreds of years, legal magazines, all of a sudden people possess them. All of a sudden they're not legal. And there was no grandfathered in, just to be clear, there was no grandfather clause that said, hey, if you already owned it legally, which was the law for hundreds of years, now they're illegal. I mean, a lot of other states have said, okay, we'll ban the sale of any magazine, or it's illegal to acquire a magazine with 10 more than 10 rounds once the law is passed. But they didn't even grandfather in people who own these. So now one day you're a law-abiding citizen, the next day you're a potential felon.
Yeah, and Mike, I'll give you a perfect example. Not everybody is a super enthusiast. There may be an 80-year-old grandfather out there somewhere that purchased a handgun years ago, strictly keeps it in a safe for protection of his home. He may not be the world's biggest Second Amendment supporter, but he has that firearm for his safety, for his protection in his home, and he doesn't keep up to date with this. I mean, it's not like somebody sends you a letter out in the mail saying, hey, all gun owners, you now are required to have a 10-round magazine. This gentleman may have to someday use this firearm in the defense of his home, and he does so lawfully, but then the police come in and say, oh, well, wait a minute, this was a 15-round magazine, and this person may not even know about it.
Right.
That's a real problem.